Today, we've got the top 10 reddest counties in the US. These are going to be the ones that gave Trump his highest level of support in 2024. We already did this for the Dems. Today, it's for the GOP. Let's get started with number 10. This is Arthur County, Nebraska. And as always, especially in this video, you might not be familiar with these counties, so they're going to be highlighted here on Wikipedia in red. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on the demographics, but you can take a look at them here. For example, this county's racial makeup is 96% white, and the median household income was $27,375. We're going to focus more on the overall population, and it's going to be low, only 434 people. If you go back 100 years ago, this county actually had its peak population at 1412. So what did all that do for the last presidential election? Well, to say it went overwhelming for Trump might be an understatement. He got 93.29%, Harris 6.01. That's more than an 87% margin. But this video is not about the margins, it's about Trump's support. So he's over 93 here. In 2020, he was at 91.23, about 2% less. And it was almost 2% less in 2016. And in 12, it was also down to 86.64. And before that, 2008, it was 82.5. But before that, in 04, George W. Bush hit 90.2%. So over the last few election cycles, this county has clearly managed to get even redder. Last time a Democrat won here was FDR back in 1932. That's Trump's 10th best county. Let's go to number 9. This is going to be the first of several in Texas, and this is Glasscock County. Hopefully you're not too hung up on that name, but this county is going to be highlighted right here. This is in West Texas. So let's go down here and take a look at the population. I'm not going to point this out every time, but this county does have a bigger chunk of Hispanic voters. It's over 34%. The overall population, it's still not that much. We're looking at under 1,200, and it's down a little bit over the last couple of decades. How about in the election? Trump here at 93.97. So a little bit higher than number 10. And this county's actually been over 90% Republican all the way through the year 2000. So this is extremely consistently dark red. The last time I did not vote for a Republican was back in 1968. It actually supported George Wallace over both the Democrat and the Republican. So Dems are pretty much non-existent here. Let's go to number 8. This is going to be back in Nebraska. We've got McPherson County. And this is coincidentally next to number 10, Arthur County. So there is some consistency in this part of the state. Let's take a look at the population. We're only looking at 399 people here. There's been a 26% drop between 2010 and 20, and the population is actually the lowest it's been here, going all the way back to 1890. So very few people here. It's kind of a ghost town. What about in the election? Well, there's a little bit of text overlap here, but they're all in for Trump. He's at 94.01%. Harris at 4.23. It's worse than Biden. It's worse than Hillary. The last Dem to win here was FDR in 1932. Number 7 is going to be back in Texas. This is Motley County, and it's also going to be in the similar part of the state as number 9. So let's scroll down here a bit and get into the population. We've got 1,063. Similar theme here. The peak was 6,800 back in 1930. So this county is losing a lot of voters. But what about in the election? Trump was at 94.15%. Harris 5.38. So it's a pretty red county. However, this county actually did vote for Jimmy Carter in 1976 over Gerald Ford. That was by almost 10 points. Ever since then, it's gone at least 60% for the Republicans. Once you go way far back, though, this county used to be pretty blue, which is what happens in a lot of counties in the South. Number 6 is going to be in a new state. This is Montana. This is Garfield County, and it's a pretty big county. It's located here, and again, it's not really near any heavy population centers. But let's get down into it. We've got about 1,200 people here, and that's also down from its peak of over 5,300 in 1920. So a lot of these small population counties have gotten even smaller over the past century. Let's see what happened in 24. Trump here at 94.5%. Harris 4.88. That's the highest percentage for a Republican going all the way back through 1920. The last time this county voted blue was in 1940. Let's get into the top 5. We're going to go back to Nebraska. We've got Hayes County. Not too far away from the 2 previous counties we've already seen in Nebraska. It's in that western part of the state where there's just very few people. Let's see what we've got for population. We've got 856, and you can see there's repeated population loss going back through the 1940s. There was about 4 times the people living here back in 1890. Things change, populations shift, and it looks like this county is down under 1,000. How about the election? Trump here at 95.55. Harris just 3.85. We're over 90% margins here for Trump. It's going to be similar stuff. It's again at the highest percentage for a Republican ever on this table. And the last Democrat to have success here was FDR in 1936. So that's good enough for number 5. Let's do number 4. And this is going to be King County. And it's not where Seattle is. This is in Texas. Again, not too far away from some of the previous counties. Let's get into the population. We've got just 233 people here. A lot of population loss here. The peak was about 1,200 in 1930. How about in the election? Trump here at 95.56. That's just a little bit lower than what Mitt Romney got in 2012. He was at 95.86. Harris at 4.44. The last time this county went blue was in 1976. Let's do number 3. It's going to be in the same state, and it's not going to be too far away. This is Borden County. Again, it's kind of in that sparsely populated section of West Texas. Let's see what we've got for population. We've got 585. Yet again, the peak was in 1930 when it was 1505. So not many people here whatsoever, but let's see what we've got in the election. Trump at 95.61, Harris 4.13. That is the highest percentage on here for a Republican. The last time it went blue was in 1976, where Jimmy Carter got 60%. Number 2 is again going to be in Texas. It's Roberts County. It's not too far from the other counties. It's located in the northern part of the state, just a little bit south of the Oklahoma border. And in case you were wondering where Miami, Texas is, it's going to be in this county. So let's get into the population. We've got 827. The peak was in 1920, where it was at 1469. The recurring theme here is generally a lot of population loss over the past century. Let's get down to the election. Trump at 95.63. Harris at 3.5. But she did do a little bit better than Biden did in 20. Trump also down just a bit from his total in 2020 as well. So that could just be a normal variation. Or maybe this county is actually getting bluer. In another 100 years, the Dems will actually be competitive here. The last time this county went blue was in 1948, where Truman actually hit 75% of the vote. And just 4 years later, Eisenhower hit over 80. There's always going to be reasons behind it, but that's a ton of movement in a short period of time. So those are 9 extremely red counties, but there's one more that's just a little bit redder. It's not going to be in Texas. It's going to be back in Nebraska. This is Grant County. Again, it's kind of in that no man's land of western Nebraska. And is there going to be anything different with the population? The answer is not really. We've got 611. And for the most part, it's declined over the past 100 years. So out of those roughly 611 people, how many of them voted in 24 and who did they vote for? Well, it's right down below here. We've got about 366 votes, and 351 of them were for Donald Trump. Harris got 15 of them. That comes out to Trump getting 95.9%, Harris at 4.1. No third-party votes here. It's safe to say that this is the reddest this county has ever been according to this table. Trump hitting more than 90% in all 3 of his runs. The last time a Democrat even got 30% here was Lyndon Johnson in 1964, and the last time it actually went blue was back in 1936. So as of the last election, this is the absolute reddest county in the country. And not only that, it's near other counties that vote similar. So if we go back to the county map, you'd be hard-pressed to find a Democrat near any of these counties. We've actually only got 3 states on here, 1 in Montana, and then 4 in Nebraska, and another 5 down in Texas. There's other super red counties and super red states out there, but you might think one of these could have been in Utah, maybe Idaho, or Wyoming, or maybe West Virginia. There are a ton of dark red counties in those states, but when you're looking for the absolute reddest of the red, these are the 10 titans where a Republican could possibly get close to losing under any circumstances. If you thought they were red 8 years ago in 2016 or maybe in 2020, you'd be right, but Trump managed to squeeze just a little bit more out of those counties. Either that or a couple more Democrats decided to stay home. A lot of these counties have similar demographics and similar population losses, and there's a lot of these counties out there. They don't have a lot of population by themselves, but once you add up dozens and hundreds of these that supported Trump with more than 75 or 80% of the vote, that actually matters when you're talking about either a statewide race or the presidential election. So that's it. These are the 10 reddest counties where Trump got his highest percentage of the vote. So let me know in the comments, is there any chance you actually live in one of these counties, or maybe you're only 1 or 2 away? What do you think about the demographics or the reasons these counties might have gotten even redder since 2020? And do these 10 Trump counties have a better chance of getting bluer, or do the 10 Harris counties have a better chance of getting redder? Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.